Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Detail back for another video here today, and I am back with my Week 5 NFL game picks. Last week was pretty rough. A lot of shocking teams won. Uh, Completely threw my record off, and I know a lot of other people's too. Granted, it's a little bit worse than I'd like it to be right now, but the goal here is we're gonna bring it back this week. That's the goal, and we had a strong start. Starting with the Thursday night game with the Rams going to Seattle to play the Seahawks. I had the score 24-20. Obviously, the Seahawks winning, which they ultimately did. I just trusted Russell Wilson more, trusted Pete Carroll to win, and they didn't let me down. So, strong start. We're 1-0 so far. Let's try to keep it going. So, moving on to the Sunday games, we got New England traveling to Washington to play the Redskins. This is a no-brainer. New England should blow out the Redskins. I have the score 35-6. If they'll even get points on the board, to be honest, because the Patriots look unreal. Granted, they did struggle a little bit last week, but they still pulled it out. Bills, they have a tough defense, so no surprise there. But like I said, this should be a blowout, no-brainer. Let's move on. Up next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Both these teams did their things last week. I got both of those games wrong, I'm pretty sure. Gardner Minshew, dude's balling. Honestly, he reminds me of Johnny Manziel a little bit, and obviously their defense is good enough to keep them in these games, even when their offense doesn't do too much, but they do enough. Same thing with Carolina. Didn't put many points on the board, but their defense was that good that they slowed down the Texans, and they got a crazy win, to be honest. So with that being said, I do have Carolina winning 20-17. I think the defense is genuinely that good, and I think Gardner Minshew is going to pull some magic out. Leonard Fournette will get some decent runs in, and but I just think the Panthers is mainly going to dominate on defense, and that'll win them this game. And Kyle Allen's just not going to turn the ball over. And Christian McCaffrey's going to do his thing. Just kind of how they're supposed to win the games right now. That's about it. So moving on, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Cincinnati to play the god-awful looking Bengals. I do have Arizona winning 31-24 just because the Bengals looked that bad on Monday night. It's unreal. I know they're not a good team, but they looked really, really bad. And obviously, Cardinals, high-powered offense, they're going to do their thing. If the game will even be that close, I don't know. Just give them a little bit more faith that the Bengals can beat up on a not-so-great defense, I guess. Regardless, I still think the Cardinals are going to win. That's about it. Let's move on. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Houston to play the Texans. Tough loss for Houston last week. Tough loss for the Falcons, too, to be honest. I need to quit picking them in their games. But I think Houston bounces back. They played a tough defense, and Deshaun Watson missed a couple balls that could have really changed the impact of that game. You could have seen Houston win very easily last week. Had a couple things going their way. Granted, that O-line still has problems. Don't get it twisted. But so does the Falcons right now. Both teams are struggling. But I'm going to trust Deshaun Watson. I'm going to trust that he is going to put the team on his back and win kind of like they have to right now. Atlanta, very confusing team right now. I know they've had some injuries. It's kind of tough, but still, they don't look great. Not as good as I thought they were going to be, at least. So I have Houston winning. That's about it. Move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to New Orleans to play the Saints. The Buccaneers, man. I think they put 55 points. I think it's a record for them. Unreal. Their weapons went on. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Ronald Jones did well. Crazy. And the Saints defense, they pulled through. They beat my Cowboys. Very disappointing watching the game, but I mean, they earned it. I think a couple things went their way in terms of calls, but they are at home again. Tough place to play. And Tampa Bay defense isn't great. So I do have New Orleans winning 27-24. I think the difference is that the Saints are at home. Tampa Bay was at home. I might sway the other way, but their defense did look good. But I've seen them get beat up before. And the Bucks, they have a lot of weapons. They're good at passing the ball as long as Jameis doesn't turn the ball over. But I do think New Orleans is a better team. I think Sean Payton's going to outcoach them, and I think they get a win. So they get 3 wins in a row with a backup quarterback. So yeah. Moving on, we get the Minnesota Vikings that are getting held back by Kirk Cousins. Versus the New York Giants. The Giants are at home. Kirk Cousins looks. Look, people give Kirk a lot of crap, and I think it's justified sometimes. But like Kirk looks extra bad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's in his head or something. But it's not good for the Vikings. Granted, this is a bad New York Giants team. They still have a strong defense, so that's why I'm going to take them 24-14. The game might be way closer than that. The Vikings might even lose, but they shouldn't. They really shouldn't lose this game. Kirk has to be better. He can't play so scared and passive all the time. They have one of the best running backs in football, 2 of the best wide receivers in football, and they are not being utilized correctly. That's a huge problem, and let's hope they can get things going this week against a poor defense. If they can't, then this team is doomed going forward. They gave all that guaranteed money to Kirk, so we'll see. So up next, we got the Chicago Bears traveling to Oakland to play the Raiders. Raiders, shocking win last week. The Bears, I don't know why I didn't pick them. I was being stupid. I'm not going to make that mistake this week. I do have the Bears winning 21-17. Oakland, they've been surprisingly good on offense. They've done way more than I thought they would. I know they don't have bad weapons, but it's just shocking how much better they've been than I thought they were going to be. So that's why I have the game kind of close, but the Bears are just the Bears. And defense is unreal, super hard to play against, and Mitch Trubisky being out might be the better thing for this team right now. I don't know how long he's gonna be out for, but Chase Daniel, he's gonna have to step up, and he did last week. So we'll see. I do have the Bears winning. I think it's pretty obvious. So let's move on. We got the New York Jets traveling to Philly to play the Eagles. The Jets, they're still struggling without Sam Darnold there. They really need him. That team is very dependent on him, but he should be back next week, I think. So that's huge for this team. But Philly, they're just a better team. They have their quarterback. They've been not so great on defense, so I think the Jets are going to put up some points, especially in terms of their secondary. But I do have Philly winning 27-20, plus they're at home. So they should get the job done. This should be a easy win for them. They get a little bit of a break before they go on a hard run in their schedule. So this is good for them. Let's move on. Up next, we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. Steelers did their thing. Granted, against a not very good team, and there's a lot of checkdowns. So they have to step up, prove that they can do it again. And I don't really think they will repeat that kind of performance. And I think the Baltimore Ravens have been in a small slump, and I expect them to be pulled out of it, even against a Pittsburgh defense that's been good in takeaways. So the Baltimore Ravens winning 28-17. I think they get the job done here, get a win that they should, and just business as usual. That's about it. Up next, we got the Buffalo Bills versus Tennessee Titans. This should be a very defensive game. I do have kind of a decent amount of points, but I will see. I think Buffalo is a better team, especially in terms of quarterback, and then I think their defense is better than the Titans, so I do have them winning 24-21. It could go either way, to be honest, but I trust Buffalo a little bit more. Like they only lost to the Patriots, and I still think they're a better team than people give them credit for. So I'm going to put trust in them and say they get this one this week. Up next, we got the Denver Broncos traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Heartbreaking loss for the Broncos. They were just in it, and it wasn't enough. But the Chargers, they're a much better team. They even get Melvin Gordon back this week, which is crazy. I think Mike Williams is going to play. So this is great for this team going forward. The future only looks brighter. So I think they win 27-20. The game will be that close. I'm not sure. But I expect the Chargers are a little hit or miss sometimes. So I think it'll be a one-score game. Regardless, they get the win. And yeah, it's good to have their boys back. Up next, we got America's Game of the Week. The Green Bay Packers traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Huge rivalry there. Past two matchups hasn't went in Dallas's favor. Granted, the games have always been super close, and I feel like these two quarterbacks, they really go at it when they play each other, and it's always a great game. I do think the Cowboys are a better team, both offensively and defensively. I think we've kind of seen that so far this year. Uh, Even though the Cowboys struggled on offense a little bit last week, I think they were kind of in their own heads. They got out coached. They played too scared, and I think they used it as a learning experience for this game and just going forward. And they kind of try not to hold back too much. In Green Bay, very explosive against the run. Aaron Rodgers is going to do Aaron Rodgers things regardless, but they are missing Devontae Adams. So bad run defense, not your number one wide receiver. That really hurts. So I have Dallas winning 31-27. Could go either way because it's Aaron Rodgers, man. But I think Dallas gets a win, and that'll move us on to the Sunday night game. The Indianapolis Colts traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, crazy game last week. Very close. Like I said, I think the Lions are a good team, and they struggled a little bit last week. They had to go on a game-winning drive. Regardless, they got the job done. They're 4-0, and I think they continue to keep the ball rolling and beat an Indy team that I don't think has T.Y. Hilton, and they're just not as talented, and especially not at the quarterback position. I like their coaching, and I like some of their pieces, but it's just Kansas City's Kansas City. It's kind of hard to bet against them right now, and just going forward. So I do have them winning 30-24. I think it'll be a good game, but I think the Chiefs get the job done and move to 5-0. So good on them. Up next, we got the Monday night game, the Cleveland Browns versus San Francisco 49ers. Niners are at home. I think this is a very 50-50 game. Could go either way. I struggled back and forth with this one. I'm still not confident in the pick, but I do have the Browns winning 28-24. I think they showed me something last week that they were missing, and I think they could run on this Niners defense, and I think the Niners have questions on offense. While Cleveland does too, they beat a Ravens defense that's good. So I'm going to put trust in that they can do that, and I think the Niners have gotten some really sloppy wins, a lot of turnovers, and just they can't keep doing that if they want to win these important games like this. So I'm going to put trust on Cleveland that they are going to get the job done, and yeah, that'll wrap us up here for my picks. That'll move us on to my current record, which is 38-25-1. Like I said, last week was kind of rough. Not as good as I'd like it to be. The hope is to just at least get like 10 of these games correct. If I can get that every week, that would be perfect. Asking for a lot, but I'm confident in my abilities. We wanna get that record up pretty quick because we're struggling right now. It doesn't look too pretty. So yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I can always say if you want more NFL related stuff or maybe even some basketball stuff, I could break down teams or just players if you want. Talk about stuff. It doesn't matter to me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. But other than that, it's been Detail, and I'm signing out. Peace.